sports there.
Oh, we are less than 4 hours away now from President Joe Biden's remarks. The address is expected to have an impact on upcoming and midterm elections.
So this afternoon, CBS News chief election and campaign correspondent Robert Costa joining us from D.C. to discuss the State of the Union and much, much more. Robert, so good to have you with us this afternoon. Appreciate you being here. I'd like to start with the upcoming midterm elections. Oklahoma Senator Jim Inhofe announcing he is stepping down in early January. He holds several committee seats, including being the chairman for the Senate Armed Services Committee. I'm wondering what his retirement means for Oklahoma's influence on a national scale.
Well, it seems like almost every Oklahoma Republican I've spoken to seems to want to run for that seat because it's so rare for a Senate seat to open in Oklahoma. And there's a lot of optimism on the Republican side, both in Oklahoma and in here in Washington, that the party's going to do well in the midterm election. So if someone wins that primary, they are probably well positioned to perhaps win the general election. But a lot's going to come down to the State of the Union tonight. Can Democrats get a boost from President Biden?
And of course, we want to talk about tonight's State of the Union address. Robert, how could this speech affect the midterms?
It's going to be a potential crossroads moment for President Biden. He knows that he's down in the polls. His advisors tell me he wants to sell his accomplishments, to talk about the $1.9 trillion rescue plan that he passed a year ago this March, to talk about infrastructure, and also to offer reassurance to Americans in Oklahoma and elsewhere that 2 years into a pandemic, he understands that there's a lot of frustration out there. Democrats, including the president, want to showcase that they get it, as one Biden confidant told me. And on Ukraine and Russia, they want to showcase that the president comes into the White House after years in the Senate. He has a steady hand when it comes to foreign policy. That will be part of the message tonight.
And Robert, finally, Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds is going to be giving the GOP response to the president later tonight. What do we know so far about what she might talk about?
She is someone who has been very critical of masking mandates, about having any kind of punishment for refusing to follow a vaccine mandate. Expect her to talk about the pandemic and the Republican point of view on President Biden's policies. Also look at her to speak for the party when it comes to criticizing the entirety of the Biden agenda. At this point, Governor Reynolds and every other Republican here at the Capitol seems to be focused intently on the midterms. They think they can win the House and the Senate, and it's all about moving toward that target at this point.
Robert Costa, a very busy day for you today, sir. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Of course, we will have more coverage on the President's State of the Union address at 5. Alex Cameron will have insight and reaction from Oklahoma lawmakers tonight from our exclusive News on 6 Washington Bureau at 9 and 10.